Hello and welcome from Budapest. This is Hungary Reports from Public Media M1, bringing you the latest news from Hungary and the Carpathian Basin in English. I'm Árpád Szőci. Great that you can join us. Sunday saw a national day of mourning in remembrance of 13 Hungarian military leaders who died a martyr's death when they were executed by Austria at the end of the failed Hungarian War of Independence of 1848 to 49. The executions happened in Arad, which is today located in Romania, where a large Hungarian minority lives. Another execution also happened in Budapest, when the first Hungarian prime minister at the time was also killed. In connection with that, Hungary's current president said that what happened to Lajos Batthyány is a lesson about the value of freedom and independence.
Magyarország lobogójának tiszte meg!
With military honors, the national flag of Hungary has been raised for the national anthem, then pulled back at half-mast for the national poem Szózat in Kossuth Square in the presence of Tibor Benkő, the Minister of Defense. 170 years ago, in 1849, 13 military officers of the Revolutionary Army were executed on this day. In Budapest, Lajos Batthyány, the first ever Prime Minister of the Hungarian government, was also put to death. At the commemoration held at the graveyard at Kerepesi Cemetery, István Tarlós, the mayor of Budapest, said the martyrs of Arad suffered a torturous death because of their patriotic stance, honest character, loyalty to the nation and desire for freedom. However, the impairment of the nation's independence could not turn back the advancement of civilian reasoning. The first independent Prime Minister of Hungary didn't just die, but he also lived, worked and fought for Hungary. The president talked about this in remembrance of Lajos Batthyány. János Áder emphasized, under his governance, Hungary created something enduring, results other nations achieve only in decades or centuries. We who bow our heads in his presence must preserve Lajos Batthyány's lifetime achievement, loyalty and courage as a part of our common heritage, the president said. At Kerepesi Cemetery, the Batthyány Mausoleum, besides getting full military honors, also received wreaths. Hungarians arrived at the obelisk in Arad from the whole of the Carpathian Basin to commemorate. Church dignitaries and Hungarian Deputy Prime Minister Zsolt Semjén placed a wreath at the site of the events of the 6th of October, 1849. Semjén said that Hungarians' grief as a community could also serve as a guarantee for the survival of Hungarians, in addition to it being a national holiday for them. This is what gives us common cohesive power in every part of the Carpathian Basin and even beyond, for all Hungarians in the world, the Deputy Prime Minister said. In Arad, the martyrdom of the 13 military officers was also commemorated with a mass and a torchlight procession. The 6th of October had been declared a national day of mourning by the government at 2001.
And across Hungary and much of the rest of the Carpathian Basin, commemorations were held for the martyrs of Arad and for others who shared a similar fate, such as Hungary's first ever prime minister, whose mausoleum lies in Hungary's most iconic cemetery in Budapest.
Those commemorating the War of Independence placed tea candles at the Batthyány Mausoleum and then took part in history seminars. They recalled the reburial of the first Prime Minister of Hungary, Lajos Batthyány, from a vault to a mausoleum at the Kerepesi Cemetery, where family members also lie. On this Memorial Day, you could visit the various tombs at the mausoleum. Some who came to visit are even descendants of those who fought in the 1848-49 War of Independence. In July in southeastern Hungary, people recalled some of the cruel events that occurred. Historical guides recalled how prisoners were brought to the town and where Hungarian military leaders capitulated. At the Greek Catholic Church in Hajdú-Beszörmény, in the east of the country, an exhibition of drawings by children on the martyrs of Arad was on display. And in Pécs in southern Hungary, they also held a commemoration, placing wreaths and tea candles as a statue of the 13 martyrs of Arad. And in Veszprém in central Hungary, they unveiled a statue in memory of one of the 13 martyrs, Ernő Kiss. And it's here in Elemir in Serbia, at Kish's final resting place at a family crypt, where they placed wreaths. Across the Carpathian Basin, people paid their respects of the martyrs of the War of Independence of 1848-49. And in Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia, they also commemorated the martyrs. In Transcarpathia, in Ukraine, in the town of Nagyszőlős, a ceremony was held at the statue of Zsigmond Perényi, another martyr who was executed a few weeks after the martyrs of Arad. The State Secretary for National Policy, Árpád János Potápi, said that the bravery and stance these martyrs showed for freedom is exemplary to this very day. Besides the first Prime Minister of Hungary, Lajos Batthyány, and the 13 martyrs of Arad, there were countless other victims as a result of the failed War of Independence against Austria. They are the unknown heroes who lie in unknown graves.
And the War of Independence of 1848 to 49 gave Hungarians the strength to get through the challenges of the 20th and 21st centuries. That's what the Speaker of the Hungarian Parliament said in the town of Okand in Transylvania, Romania, on the occasion of the reopening of a renovated church there. Laszlo Kövér said that without the values of faith and belief, Europe in the future could well lose itself. That's why it's important in the present to observe and learn from Transylvanian Unitarians.
Today we pay our respects to our revolutionary heroes who sacrificed their lives. And at the same time, we celebrate our current heroes of peace for their unswerving work with which they were able to open a new house of worship here in Homorodok land. We celebrate not just the renovated interiors, but also the people's drive and vitality.
Across the country, the grape harvesting season is coming to a close, although many vintners were still busy at work on the weekend. However, compared to last year's record season, this one saw less grapes grown everywhere. However, despite the drop in quantity, vintners are satisfied with the quality.
Grape harvesting continued at the wine-producing region of Villány. Even on the weekend, grapes are grown on 2,500 hectares in this region. Winemakers expect a good harvest this year. The yields are very good. We had especially nice weather, which resulted in unexpectedly good, perfectly ripe, absolutely healthy fruit in beautiful colors, said this winemaker. In the vicinity of Lake Balaton, harvest will end next week with the gathering of blue varieties. In the wine village of Látrány, only the harvest of Cabernet Sauvignon is still needed. Quantity and quality will not be a problem this year either. We had wonderful weather during the harvest season. In other words, weather was nice in September and so far also in October, so all conditions are met for a good harvest year, the winemaker said. However, this year 30% less wine was produced in the wine-producing region of Eger in comparison with the record yields last year. Harvest will continue during the next 10 days. In Tokaj, the traditional Grape Harvest Days festival was held over the weekend. However, grape picking will continue in the region until the end of November. Winemakers expect a good harvest year here also. Fortunately, there is no wine disease here, and we expect a very good quality product this year. The noble rot process has begun for us here in Tokaj-Hegyalja wine region. This is one of the most important things. So we will continue the harvest, which, according to us, will probably go on until the end of November, said the local winemaker. Vintners are also supported by the fact that the Ministry of Agriculture has launched a marketing program worth of 10.5 million euros to promote Hungarian wine.
Actors from Head to Toe is the name of an exhibition at the Herend Porcelain Museum in the town of Herend in central Hungary. It's done in cooperation with the Hungarian National Theatre History Museum and Institute, featuring big moments on the Hungarian stage since the 1900s. In addition to photographs of legendary actors, the exhibition also showcases their personal objects and real relics, like their coffee cups, makeup kits, and jewelry. And the Debrecen Zoo in the east of the country has one more inhabitant now that a baby tapir was born there on Sunday. The newborn has been named Melita and seems to be feeding off her mom Lunda quite happily. And even though she looks tiny now, she'll soon reach the size of her parents. That makes 4 tapirs at the zoo who are actually native to the rainforests of South America. But because of their natural habitats being drastically reduced, their numbers are alarmingly decreasing. Well, we'll try to keep them alive. And that's all for now, but we'll be back again the next night live right after the news in Hungarian at 11 p.m. local time. You can also catch us in repeats and online. Please stay tuned now, if you can, for our new shows in German, Russian, and Chinese. Thanks very much for watching, and minden jót!